Hey guys, this is What If Deku Had Metro Man's Powers Part 1. This is what if Deku had an unbelievable amount of power. How would it affect the My Hero universe? How would it change the timeline beyond belief? How would it affect everybody around him? And how would Deku change with this immense power he has in his hands? Now, before we get into the fanfiction, I do have some announcements. I am going to be making at least 2 Halloween specials this month. I'm going to be making a Spawn stop motion, and next month I am going to be posting the Spider-Man 2099 stop motion, and it's going to be a little bit better. I'm going to have a lot of sets and basically backgrounds for that stop motion. It's basically going to be more of a visual, breathtaking type stop motion, a lot of visual effects and stuff like that. And pretty much, I do need a voice actor for pretty much, I think his name is Miguel. Yeah, the Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara's. I do need a voice actor for him. Anybody that has a Hispanic accent or thinks they sound like Miguel O'Hara's, just go in the comments, pay your Instagram, and let's just chat, and I'll give you the script, because I need somebody to voice act Spider-Man 2099 real quick. And I also need somebody to voice act characters like Carnage and other characters such as Punisher and other things like that. So yeah, don't mind the background noise. So what happened during this fanfiction? We start our story off with Deku's birth, his origin. Now, Deku had been born seemingly quirkless, going through his life being discriminated against because he's a quirkless nobody. Bakugo would have still treated him the same, and the course of this, universe, the My Hero world, would have gone exactly the same until Deku in middle school, right before UA, right before the last day of school. The last day of school, Deku would have been going to the Slenderville tunnel as he would have been walking down. Now, a little bit about Deku. In this canon, Deku's personality would have changed a little bit. Now, what would happen is, Deku would have been a lot more heroic, a lot more courageous, and him being his life before others. Now, what happened is Deku in this canon wouldn't have been, cornered by a sludge villain. Him walking down the, sidewalk as he would have gone through the crossing area. As the crossing roads, or him going, to walk, as he would have helped the old lady walk across the road. As out of nowhere, it would be a green light, as a huge truck would have been barreling towards Deku and an old lady. As Deku would have tried to get the old lady to go faster, as the old lady had a cane and could barely even walk. As Deku would have been looking left and right, him not really wanting to let the old lady die, and him basically not being strong enough to push her out of the way, because Deku was kind of bullied earlier by Bakugo, and his arm is kind of sore and beaten up, because he did get drop kicked in the left arm by Bakugo, and blown up in the right shoulder by Bakugo. So Deku tried to push the old lady forwards to try to make her go faster, but the truck was too fast, and it hit both of them. As Deku would have opened his eyes, as he would have had his hand open before it made impact, as the truck would have broke instantly on impact on Deku's skin, as the truck would have been obliterated, as it would be a huge crater in the front of the truck man being able to jump out at the last second before it made impact with Deku. As Deku looked at the truck, it having gas coming out of it and sparks, as he would have known that it was about to blow up, as Deku instantly would have been healed by his bruises earlier from Bakugo's attack, as he would have grabbed the old lady and rushing her out the way, trying to run at full speed to get her out the way, but him not noticing that he ran so fast that he's on the other side of Japan. As he would have looked at the old lady, him grabbing the old lady Prowl style and running her right back where he did, as he would have realized that he was moving so fast that everybody around him looked like they were slowed down completely, as he would have walked around seeing that it was a rainbow type of energy following him as he was running this fast. As Deku would have stopped, dropping the old lady down on the other side of the sidewalk, him running around and him trying to explore his new powers. Hours would have gone by, Deku's mother getting kind of worried for him, as Deku would have been at Deku Beach testing out his newfound abilities. Now what would happen is Deku would realize that he has some sort of super speed so fast that everything around him seemed like it was frozen, not even moving slow. It looked like it was completely frozen. As Metro Man's speed was kind of OP doing Mega Mind, if you really think about it. Metro Man literally spent probably hours in a super speed type of limbo, basically just walking around, reading books, flying kites, and literally just eating, basically just enjoying his time. No one even seeming to even notice him being there. No one even noticing that he was even in front of them for like minutes or hours, just in front of them. None of them even noticing that he was there. As that's an incredible level of speed. With Flash, you can actually see if he was there, because it would be a little blur or pretty much a blip. But with Metro Man, it's probably no blur. He probably just pops in and out. Like, I'm pretty sure cameras can't even see him because he was so fast that Megamind couldn't even figure out that he did fake his own death. He literally spent hours, probably days, in the super speed type of limbo, a day's worth of time in the super speed type of limbo, and he literally just ran back in a matter of a second. Like, literally a second went by, and a matter of a second, he literally just threw a fake skeleton into the sky. He was able to literally slide right out of there, fly up into the air past the explosion, and chuck a fake skeleton out. Him being able to run back and grab a fake skeleton and bring it right back without even being noticed to even pop out of the frame is incredible to me. That's incredible speed. Now, Deku also, Metro Man's power set is basically just the powers of Superman, but probably just stronger or more OP, because we never saw Metro Man ever get damaged. Simple. Metro Man, nothing on Earth could damage Metro Man. Or anything nothing really cosmic was ever able to destroy Metro Man. Not even giant, robots made by Megamind, or not even seismic events like meteorites could even phase Metro Man. Metro Man, basically we never saw Metro Man ever get damaged by anything. Even the copper thing was just a illusion. Megamind couldn't even really beat, Metro Man's powers. He had to transfer them out of the dude that had Metro Man's powers, the villain of the story, basically the real protagonist against Megamind. Like, literally he had to take his powers away. That was the only way to defeat him. And they can't even do that to Metro Man, because Metro Man's powers are organic. They are him. They aren't something that was given to him. So, put it simple, I'm pretty sure nothing can hurt Metro Man. So that means Metro Man could possibly just straight up one-shot Superman, because Superman has a lot of weaknesses. Being taken away from the Yellow Sun, Kryptonite, his family, and other things like that. Even things like magic as well, and even an equal force to his Kryptonian force. Like, Darkseid can damage and kill him without using any type of kryptonite. So, put it simple, I'm positive Metro Man can body all this other Superman clones. I literally want to see like a death battle of them, but it's not much. It's not much to go off of Metro Man's powers. We never really saw much of Metro Man at all in Megamind. So yeah, but put it simple, I'm pretty sure Metro Man doesn't really have any weakness. I just think he's super OP. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Metro Man has no weakness, and that's basically my thought. But it made the story, actually, interesting, and not have Deku win all the time, or be able to fight and never get injured or never even have a problem with any of the villains he fights. I am gonna make one thing from the movie that was a fake real. Deku's weakness is actually going to be copper, but copper can pierce through his skin. It's just that it's not like kryptonite where it weakens Deku when it's near him. It only works when it's stabbed or thrown against Deku's skin. That's when his skin becomes vulnerable or his body becomes weak. So skin-to-skin contact is the only way copper can affect pretty much this version of Metro Man's power set, or Deku. Skin-to-skin contact with copper is the only thing that it can affect pretty much Deku's powers. And only thing that can, stop him from doing anything. It won't stop him from doing anything, but it can wound him or damage him. Or kill him if you have like a copper sword or something. But other than that, basically what happened is, well, Deku would have spent this time exploring his powers, as he would have gone back home still, him explaining everything to his mom, and his mom being confused. As you would took him to the court doctors say that Deku has some sort of extraordinary quirk ability, as they would have tested Deku's powers, him having a limited amount of powers. I'm pretty sure Metro Man has super strength, super speed, flight, invulnerability, super hearing, and super senses. And I also think he has freeze breath as well, and a bunch of other extra powers. So the extra powers Deku will have, I don't know, like, I think mesmerizing. So basically, I'm just gonna give Deku I'm basically just gonna give Deku the same power set as Metro Man that we saw the powers he used in the actual movie, plus a couple of extra stupid powers Superman had in the past of his first couple comics that he doesn't have now. So Deku, the whole, forget kiss, Deku has that. Rainbow making is some power Superman had, but yeah. And I think another power was shape-shifted at one point. Superman has shape-shifting for a power, but that's not going to really be a power set. So basically, his simple Deku just has the same power set we saw Metro Man use in the movie. See, Deku over the course of the 10-month arc would have been training his powers, basically grabbing and chucking pretty much trash into the atmosphere or into the sun, as he would have cleaned up Deku Beach in like a week, as he would have used the rest of his time at Deku Beach to train his body, as his body would have been really more malleable, as Deku would have instantly gained a super jackpot by the time in like 5 months. As what would happen is, well, Deku would have the same body build as, let's say, Connor Kent Superboy, or the same body build as a more teenage, younger Superman. So basically, Deku would be kind of a little bit buffer than his canon bod after the 10-month arc training. But other than that, we could switch to Deku pretty much train his body. Eventually, us seeing that he did, pretty much come across his copper weakness. As he one day, when he was taking up the trash, and he found a little piece of trash that was left on him from a couple weeks ago, prior to him cleaning up Deku Beach, he would grab a piece of pretty much copper, as he would have cut his hand, as it would be a rusty piece of copper. Now, Deku would have a regeneration ability, but if that being as strong as like Deadpool or Wolverine's, but him being able to heal about 10 times faster than the average human. So like a broken arm would take Deku a couple hours to heal. A cut or like a stab wound, a couple minutes. And maybe a decapitation or something like a cut off limb would have took Deku a couple weeks to regrow, or a month if it was like 2 arms or like a whole torso or bottom half of his body was cut off, like a couple months to heal back. But what would happen is, well, Deku would have just healed from this in a couple minutes, but him looking at the piece of copper, him being confused on what it was. As Deku would have saw that it was copper having a certain smell it gives off, Deku having a lot more, enhanced senses, him being able to control them a lot more than his super hearing prior. Not prior, Deku didn't have any powers before, but Deku's super senses would have been incredibly powerful. As Deku would have. So what happened is Deku would have figured out that copper was his only weakness, and it didn't work like kryptonite, because in this universe, Superman was a comic book character. Now Deku would have saw a lot of similarities between him and Superman. Deku still have his laser vision, like I said before. I didn't say that, but Deku does have laser vision and other things like that. So what happened is, well, Deku would have signed up for the UA exam, him go to the UA exam, and him basically passing with flying colors for the written exam, since his super senses, or pretty much him having super speed, he would be able to pretty much think and process things thousands of times faster than the average human. Now, Deku would have done the, physical exam, going up against the robots. Now, what would happen is Deku would start to fly around at super speeds, taking down so many robots, him slowing down his speed a little bit so the cameras could catch him, as he would have been passing through the robots at incredible speeds. But him coming across the Zero Pointer, as the Zero Pointer would have had a little bit of copper in his hands, as it would have thrown a punch towards Deku. As Deku would have been sent flying by this copper-filled punch, as the pretty much front layer of the knuckles would have been copper, since it would have made skin contact with Deku being pushed into a nearby building, him coughing up some blood. As Deku would have gotten a little bit farther, him using his laser vision to cut off the Zero Pointer's arms, as he would have flown down, grabbing Ochaku, getting her out of the way. As he would still, jump in to save Ochaku, that's why he, went against the Zero Pointer. Now what happened is Deku would have been able to just blur Ochaku right towards Recovery Girl. He would have finished up taking a lot more of dozens of Zero Pointers, as he would have been punching them, throwing them around, and shooting them down with his lasers. As eventually, he would have gotten way more points than anybody in the history of the entry exams, higher than All Might's score, thousands of times higher than his. Since he would have taken out so many robots, taking a lot more points from anybody else, but Netta in this canon wouldn't be able to come into UA since he wouldn't be able to have enough points. So Mineta wouldn't be in this canon. Or Mineta wouldn't go to UA in this canon. So what would happen is, well, Deku would have gone home. A couple days later, him getting the note from UA that he got in. As Deku would have gone to UA, him being pumped, as he would have pretty much rushed into Class 1A as soon as the school opened, him speeding towards UA's door, towards Class 1A's room, as he would have just popped in there in super speed. As he would have waited for everybody else to show up, him seeing Ochaku. As he would have talked to Ochaku and flirted with her a little bit and introducing himself. As he would have also done the same thing with Momo. Him flirting a little bit with Momo and pretty much all the girls in class. Him and all the guys. Not all the guys, not flirting with them, but him knowing everybody in the class, knowing their names and getting to know people. Asking about them or other things like that. So what happened is a couple hours would have gone by, not hours, but a couple minutes would have gone by, and they would have found out that Azal was in the classroom. As they would have been there before Azal. So basically he knew Azal was in the class, but everybody else figured out Azal was just sleeping. As Deku would have basically got ready, as Azal would have told the class to get ready, they're doing quirk assessments outside, get into your gym uniforms. As Deku got into his gym outfit, as Deku would have gotten ready. As Deku would have been told to throw the ball first since he got the highest score on the entry exams. As Bakugo would have saw Deku in the sky on the other side, him seeing him fly up really high in another area of the entry exams, him seeing Deku. As she would have seen that Deku would have chucked the ball so fast that it would have gone through the sun. Basically throwing it so fast that it literally just zoomed right past the sun. As it would have disintegrated, like seconds after it would have passed the sun. But basically pretty simple, Deku threw it super hard. It was a surprise that Deku didn't even obliterate it when he threw it the first time. Or when it even came off his hand. It's a miracle it didn't obliterate or disintegrate then. But Deku would be told, next, thing. As everybody would have been told, the next one. Now Deku, with a long jump, Deku would have aced pretty much long jump, grip test strength, race, and pretty much everything else. He would have made flying colors first place in everything. As everybody would be amazed by his strength and his speed and everything about him. As Al actually being impressed himself. First time in years, him being actually impressed by a student enough to even try to slightly praise him, saying you did a good job, Azal, with a very mundane voice, sounded like he was sarcastic. Now, what happened is, well, he would have given everybody their syllabus and told them to go home. As Deku would have gone home, him telling his mom that he had a wonderful day at school, as he would have been, pretty much walking outside to take out the trash, as he would have been stopped by some sort of thugs, as they would have asked Deku for his money, as Deku would have said, I have the money on me, as he would have said, well, give me those shoes, as Deku would be wearing some white Adidas, as Deku would have said, no, as the guy would have said, are you stupid, kid, give me your shoes now, as the guy would have pulled out some sort of blaster, as Deku would have said a blaster, a gun, and this time and age, are you serious, my dude? As he would have started to fire it towards Deku, as Deku would have dodged it, it glazing his cheek and having a slight of a, burn effect. It not burning Deku or damaging him, but it felt like it was warm. First time Deku feeling like a gun or a bullet actually was about to actually hurt him a little bit. It didn't hurt him or pierce his skin or anything, but it felt like somebody had a stove near your face, but it didn't touch your face, like an inch away from your face. So Deku dodged it pretty quickly, him grabbing the gun out of the guy's hand and him knocking him out in about 3 seconds. Now Deku would have grabbed the gun, looking at it, and seen initials of Megamind, MM. Basically, it having a serial code, it being said the property of Megamind. As Deku would have been confused, and in this canon, Megamind would have been in this universe. Now I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And basically, it's simple. Deku will eventually go against Megamind. In this canon, Megamind has so many advanced weapons that they are able to slightly, well, mess with Deku. But we don't know for certain if Megamind has something that can actually kill Deku that isn't copper. But I'll leave it out here, guys. Here we go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you like and subscribe. As always, guys, have a blessed day.